Welcome to the Sunsplash Mix Show. I am Selecta Princess.
I am Ja Prince, and we're still broadcasting from Atlanta. So salute to everybody in the year 2025,
Yay.
where we're starting another season of the Sunsplash Mix Show because we've been moving around.
Yes, thankfully.
We've been touring.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot. We're on ships. We're
Yeah.
at festivals.
In the forest.
We've been camping.
Yeah.
And we might do a spaceship, but you never know how that works out. But we always listen to new music and some of the current music that is out right now. And we have friends.
Yeah.
So one of our friends to the show, there we go, is a guy. He's been hustling.
Hard.
He's been hustling. He's official.
Yes.
Bobby Hustle. Welcome to the Sunsplash Mix.
Big up Sunsplash, happy to be here. Big up Princess, Ja Prince. A pleasure, a pleasure.
Now let me find out about the West Coast because
Kush Coast.
I see it says the Kush Coast for obvious reasons. But explain what you've known and learned and love about just West Coast reggae, West Coast living.
Sure. Well, right now I'm talking to you from Los Angeles, but I grew up in Seattle, so I'm up and down the West Coast, very familiar with all corners and crevices of the West Coast, and it's really a laid back energy. Reggae music has been growing on the West Coast since I was a kid in the 90s, and I have seen firsthand an explosion in the last like 15 years, pretty much. Ever since I've really been putting my foot forward as an artist and an entertainer, I've just watched the scene grow up around me, and yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I met you guys for the first time in person last summer at the Reggae on the River Festival in Humboldt County, where I was performing, which was a really cool full circle movement for me, or full circle moment for me as a fan of Jamaican reggae music and Jamaican culture, to to get to perform at the premier West Coast reggae, authentic reggae festival, and it really felt so cool for me. So as a kid who grew up all over the West Coast, it's really amazing to see the growth that reggae has been able to achieve and is still achieving. There are still, we're in the beginning of 2025, and there are quite a few really, really big festivals that are going to be taking place over here on the West Coast. So if you're not familiar with the energy out here, do like the Sunsplash folks did and come out. Come check the vibes.
Yes.
and let's narrow down, like you said, there is opinions and visions of what California is all the way up to Washington. We got, is it urban? Is it rural? Is it country? Like, what's the best that you've seen? Like, now we have some nice inner city neighborhood clubs and bars, like you said, literally on the beach. But then we have some mountainous, private, quiet streams. Like California really has got a lot. Or West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't pigeonhole California and say California is Los Angeles and Hollywood or San Francisco. Like, I mean, California is so diverse, from the landscape to the people to the cultures to the political affiliations. Like, California is very, very diverse. So you can go to a reggae party in downtown Los Angeles and a beer Belizean and Jamaican people there.
Right.
You can also go 2 miles away to a Polynesian style dance, and it's Hawaiians and Samoans and Fijian and so many different types of people. And then you can go to a next dance. You can go to a next dance in the country, and is white Rastas. So you never know what you're gonna get. The interesting thing is that California and the West Coast as a whole has just embraced Caribbean culture and Jamaican music, um, as I say that, I'm like realizing that there's a little bit more nuance to it. Like we
Yeah.
have embraced it, but we all embrace it in different ways. You know, like back in
Yes.
the '90s, you had guys like Brad Noel and Sublime that were really paving the way for this
Yeah.
fusion sound that exists today. And
Right.
that was a white boy American kids who grew
Right.
up in Long Beach in Southern California,
Right.
fusing different genres, whether it be, you know, 80s reggae and dancehall from Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
to ska from the UK to
Mm-hmm.
punk rock and all these different things, and they put them together to this
Yeah.
sound that was really like really accessible to the people down here that weren't
Mm-hmm.
super familiar with patois and the whole like depth of the Jamaican culture.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that is one aspect of it, and then you have the whole other aspect of people more like me who, you know, I heard Sublime as a kid, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't I gravitated to it, and then I discovered where they were taking their melodies from, and
Ah,
that's where I went, you know. And so there are people more like me that, you know, their manifestation and their experience in reggae music is much more traditional, you
Right.
know.
mm-hmm.
But I think that the important thing is to acknowledge that the West Coast loves reggae music and loves reggae culture, and it just
Yeah.
manifests differently, you know. But as long as you're acknowledging the bridge, you can be a plank on the bridge at different, you know, on one end you
Mm-hmm.
might have, you know, Vibes Cartel, Bounty Killer, and you know, like some real, you know,
Oh
beanie
yeah.
man, like the legendary Jamaican dancehall artists, and on the other end you might
Mm-hmm.
have, you know, Revolution and Soja and Slightly Stupid
Mm-hmm.
and these bands that, you know, maybe people that love this side don't necessarily see this as reggae, but and people
Mm-hmm.
that love this side don't even know about this necessarily,
Fully.
but
Yeah.
it's a bridge, and there are planks on the bridge. And you know, as a fan, somebody coming from this side but really appreciating this side, I found myself like right in the middle, able to, you
Nice.
know, take in both energies. And yeah, so that was a really roundabout answer for your
No,
That's
no,
question. But
no.
California loves reggae music.
Yes, yes. And I must say that's one of the reasons why I respect you as an artist, your work, because you are the bridge, you have an appreciation for the past and the present. Um, would you say your mission has changed from 2010 to now, or you're trotting the way you feel as you move through this industry with your work?
You know, my mission has definitely changed. It's evolved, it's grown. When I first came into the industry in 2010, from about 2010 to 2015, I was voicing a lot of rhythms and really immersing myself in the Jamaican, at least at that time, the contemporary model of business, you know, like the
right.
way the industry was running. And again, at that
Right,
time, you have to remember that the Cali roots scene wasn't really a thing. You had bands
right.
like Revolution and Soja and Slightly Stupid, like those ones I mentioned before. Those guys have been around for a long, long time, but the scene hadn't like coalesced. It wasn't
Hmm.
cohesive like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me as an up and coming artist who really grew up loving Jamaican music, that was what I was emulating. Like I wasn't out there trying to get a band. I was doing sound system shows.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
I was
Yeah.
touring with the sound system vibes. I was cutting
Yeah.
dub plates. I was
Yep.
Right.
most of my original audience was European, Jamaican,
Mhm.
Japanese,
Yes.
Central American, South American, African, like
Hmm.
back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that was where I was getting most of my um,
Audience.
support, you
Yeah.
Hmm.
know. And then of course there was local support as well because I was living in Seattle at that time, and I had a good support team around me at that point. But we were really modeling what we were trying to do after what was happening in Jamaica at the time.
Hmm.
And simultaneously this whole industry was growing around me in a way without me. I mean, I was connected to
Hmm.
some of the artists in the US scene, but as far as the
Right.
fans knowing me, I
Hmm.
was kind of a I was on the outside looking in a way.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about like how has my vision changed, my
Hmm.
vision has changed in that my vision has changed in that I'm really trying to like accept who I am as a as an American person. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not trying to be Jamaican. I'm not trying
Hmm.
to um I'm not trying to necessarily infiltrate that scene, although I truly
Right.
respect it and love it and
Yeah.
appreciate it. Um
Hmm.
Now, like you said, I'm kind of in the middle on the bridge,
Hmm.
between, traditional roots reggae, Jamaican sounds and this more American fusion sound. I'm kind
Hmm.
of right in the middle. And over the last 10 years, I've really been trying to just embrace that as my authentic self because
Nice.
I'm not, I'm not the same as these American kids. Like,
Hmm.
No.
you can hear it in the music, but I'm
Hmm.
also not Jamaican, so
Right.
where do I fall? Where I fall is just being myself. And so
Mhm.
I stopped trying to chase both sides. And
Yes.
now I just release music and do me, and the people that appreciate it, appreciate it. So
Yeah, there you go. I would definitely say there is an educated audience in this digital space.
Mm.
Like you said, they know what they hear. They can your pronunciation,
Correct.
vernacular. Oh no, he's been in Jamaica a couple times, right? Or he's been
yeah,
touring a
man.
Correct.
couple times. If that
Yes.
matters,
Mm,
right? Because there's other people
right.
never been
Touch the soil.
full,
Yeah.
successful career for them the same way.
Totally.
No
And
competition,
they
no
don't even
issue.
have a desire
But
to
let's
go.
get into
Like
all right, now I got to release
their
music.
market.
I need to find. Oh, there we go. You got to release music. You got to find a home. You got your home base, your home studio, things like that, or you have a. I think it's loading up again.
Oh, okay.
We'll let it load. But you do have us now. Wait. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
So now you got to have your home studio. You got to have a studio that you can go to that's local. And then now you got to do things on social media. So when people look at your Instagram and they're like, oh my God, he deleted everything. It's like, all right, hold on. Can you explain to some of your fan base and to other artists,
Yes.
sometimes we need to reboot, or what's the method beyond
Why?
doing that? Yeah.
Bro, I don't know. I'm like honestly, I'm self-managed and this is all me. So
Okay.
when I feel like when I feel like I don't well, like it's not connecting or like it's feeling old and tired, I don't have a problem just
Keep going.
wiping the slate clean, And I mean, it's the internet. It's basically
Okay.
yeah, there's no for me right now there's not really a lot of rhyme to the reason with my Instagram and my internet presence. Like I think it's really important um to not be attached to it, you know um
To
and
hear.
it's kind of it feels good to just wipe the slate clean. And I went from 400 posts or whatever to 3 posts, 2 posts. And it really also sometimes, say you have a song that you're trying to have people focus on, boom, that's the one post that they're going to see, something like that.
Yes.
Also, you have the mental health issue thing. It's like
Mm.
comparison is the thief of joy. So if I'm out there always looking at other people being successful and I'm not feeling successful myself, then what good is that? So
Right.
much rather take a little break and clean up house and
Yeah.
declutter, if you will.
We're human.
I like that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Sometimes, like you said, you trust yourself. You got to have faith. But I don't know if you got to
Blind
have
faith.
blind faith. So please explain to us blind faith as a track and the visuals
Yes.
that you have out.
Cool. So Blind Faith is a song that I recorded with my good friend Dan from Loud City in Seattle. We grew up together. Multi Grammy nominated reggae dancehall producer. I've known him since I was 9 years old. So
How
we
cool.
have an amazing connection. And
Yes.
we've been creating music since we were 12 or 13. So Blind Faith is a song that we wrote together on more of like an Afrobeat dancehall style rhythm that he produced. And the the concept is really just trusting the process, trusting God, trusting the universe, trusting source energy, trusting your heart. Um, because I mean, it goes back to this comparison is the thief of joy thing. Like, it's so easy to look at someone else and say, I want that. Why don't I have that? Or, I'm as good. I should, or all of these different things. When the most important thing to do is to trust yourself and and know that you're always on the right path, even if it doesn't feel like it. These are cliches, but
No.
but they are true, and I've been really embracing that. Again, it goes back to my vision of who Bobby Hustle is in this space, like sort of evolving from wanting to do it a Jamaican way to wanting to do it an American way to realizing that the way that I do it is the way that I do it. And that's okay. And whoever resonates with that will resonate with that, and and that's it. And so, Blind Faith is a song that sort of talks about um, self doubt and comparing yourself to another and having to remind yourself to ground in your own purpose and your own vision and your own um, reality, because you can never live someone else's reality, nor can they live yours. And so you just got to have faith that you're walking in your path. And honestly, faith is blind. It has to be, like, in
Yeah.
um, if you're having faith, then it's blind. But if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And it's as good as it seems. That's another single that we see on your page
Hmm.
that is garnering a lot of views. So tell us about that as well.
Well, As Good as It Seems was a song that came out about 5 years ago now. That was April 2020. That was the first release that I had during the pandemic, and I
Mm,
ended up releasing 20 songs that year or something like that. Some crazy amount of songs, but As Good as It Seems was the
yeah.
first one, and it deals with a lot of these same concepts. I don't I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I just know that right now I love my life, and I hope that it really is as good as it seems. Um, I'm
Yes.
so fortunate to have uh, over and over and over made the choice to uh, follow my heart and my passion rather than like the easy out or the way that the system wants me to go. And here I am now, um, having traveled the world doing what I love, making music and getting to talk to nice people like you about these concepts. And As Good as It Seems, yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of that one. That's my most streamed song, um, and I think for that to be the most streamed song, it really must have
Speaks volumes.
some connection, and sitting here alone in my thoughts, everything is true until it's not. I was looking in from the outside, the devil on my left, I had an angel on my right side. Yeah, I've been known to walk through open flames. I mean, it's the lyrics in that uh, are very relatable. Not only just
Yes.
I feel for me, but for anybody that has gone through the fire. And I mean, you cannot live this life without having gone through some fire.
That that's right.
That's what I like. I like when, like you said, an artist is able to even reflect on their own content and their own lyrics, to remind themselves. Sometimes you never walk alone. So, as you said, you have some songs that are the most streamed and the most
Yeah.
received, but I will never walk alone. Yeah, we got the first jingles from the hustle.
Yes.
Shout out to Unity Sounds.
Yes.
So, like you said, it's been years.
Years.
And the reception that you got, taking a split second. So I'll never walk alone and Reggae on the River, as you said, full circle. Crowd loves to see you, right?
So
You got some really core fans,
I do,
real fans.
for sure.
Yeah. So tell me about that one more time. Reggae on the River. It wasn't what we thought, which is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we were East Coast kids on camping.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, what would be your explanation of what you saw out there and
the energy.
the energy?
So to understand reggae on the river, you have to kind of realize like this is a part of California that's very rural. It's very
Mhm.
far north. It's super close to the Oregon border. It's up in the redwoods. So to get there, people fly to San Francisco and then drive 3.5 hours
Mhm.
north. Um,
Yeah.
or they, drive down from Seattle, or they drive from Las Vegas, or I mean, people are coming from all over the place. They're flying from Atlanta.
Oh,
Um, it hadn't up until last year. It hadn't gone on for a few years due to the pandemic
Yeah.
and some other issues. Um, some really, really great people in the community up there brought it back, and they've been working tirelessly to make it what it used to be. And what it used to be
Yeah.
was the premier Jamaican
Mm.
reggae music festival and world music festival in the country. Back in the
Yeah.
90s and the early 2000s, you'd have 20,000 people there. It was huge. And
Yeah.
I remember the first time, the only time that I ever went as a fan was 2004, 2004, maybe 2003. I was a kid, and I went and I got to see Bounty Killer and just so many artists that you would never see them if it wasn't for a
Right.
huge festival like that. And I didn't even know really what I was getting into at that time. But it opened my eyes to this culture so much more that it had already my eyes had already been opening, but it was just like total
wow.
culture shock,
Immersed.
like amazing.
Right.
Um, and that energy carried all through the decades until a few years ago it stopped. So to have it come back now and to have last year be such a great success, um,
Yeah.
it was really, really special. I know for everybody in that community, in the Humboldt County
Mhm.
community, but everybody in
Mhm.
the whole West Coast reggae fraternity
Mhm.
felt
Yeah.
like a little bit of peace that, like, okay, a part of us is coming back and we can do this. And even though the climate is changing to where,
Literally.
yes, to where most of the reggae fans on the West Coast are gravitating towards the American sounds, the fact
Hmm.
that this lineup can be successful is a good sign. So
Yeah.
I'm not on it this year. I probably won't be up there this year, but my heart is with them. I've already seen the first artist drop that they have. It looks incredible. So if you have a chance to go to
Hmm.
Reggae on the River, fully, fully, fully encourage you. Bobby Hustle, 100%
Right.
endorsed. Um, you're gonna have to do a little bit of camping, unless you're willing to spring for the hotels, which are down the road. Um, but
Yeah.
Right.
but
Way
yeah,
down the road.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we got to be really clear. Camping, if you've never done it, when they say it gets dark, it's dark.
You and the
But you'll
stars.
hear the bass line up to a certain
Oh
hour.
man.
There is camaraderie. I
Yes.
mean, like, I'm not saying we didn't need no security.
Happy
Right?
reggae.
It was happy reggae
Yes.
all over. It was all family, singles,
Yeah.
girls groups, guys from fraternity colleges,
Yeah.
elders, as you said, from a rural community.
Generations.
When just like in our cultural spots, like if it's handmade goods, you knew she baked it and he,
Yeah.
presented it for sale, and it was for everybody.
Yes.
And it was for everybody. And it was for everybody. There was enough for everybody.
More than enough, Greta.
More
than enough
for everybody.
Yeah. At its own zone.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby Hustle.
Yeah, man. The hustle.
Tell us how we can keep in touch with you, get your music, dub plates,
watch the videos.
and watch the videos.
Sure. Well, first of all, just thank you guys again for having me. I really appreciate you and what you guys do for the culture and the community. And I hope to get to Atlanta sooner than later. You can get in touch with me very easily. Everybody has a phone. Just type in Bobby Hustle, BOBBYHUSTLE. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, and I'm on everything. So you type it in, you're going to find me. And like you guys said, there's a lot of music out there. I've been doing this for quite some time. There's a lot of new music coming. So, I'm excited to present that to you guys this year. And I've got a couple shows coming up here in California. I'm available for bookings. I tour. I play with sound system. I play with my band, and you will get an original experience like no other. So, big up.
That's right. The hustle way, the Bobby hustle.
The Bobby hustle, and he DJs all his lyrics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I take pride in, I grew up studying the greats, so I'm not out here singing on top of my songs. I sing my songs.
No.
Thank you.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
He's the first TruVersation, not a conversation. 2025 Sunsplash the Mix show, and like you said, we're gonna see him on the East West, probably in Jamaica. Yeah. You never know.
Definitely.
Salute.
All right, bada bing, boo.
Oi. Yo, big up. This is Bobby Hustle representing for Selecta, Princess, and Ja Prince, and the one and only Sunsplash Mix show. Keep it locked. It's the hustle.